yes, Eddie Irvine takes provisional pole position. The best that Mika Häkkinen could do, I think, is to take third position. No, my goodness, he takes pole position. Incredible.
Manchester United paint Barcelona red. The sporting finish to end all sporting finishes at the Nou Camp. The grey shirts of Bayern Munich stretched out in total disbelief. Hello there, welcome to the pit lane at the Spanish Grand Prix. I can tell you that Manchester United victory is still a prime topic of conversation in these parts, and now it's the reds against the greys once again. The prancing horse of Ferrari have got away quicker than the McLarens, but the world champions just have the edge in qualifying.
Barcelona is a popular venue for testing, so the territory was familiar, even if the name on provisional pole for the first half of qualifying wasn't.
It's very difficult to get something more than the others when everybody is testing non-stop here. So we are very pleased about this performance.
Even the regular pace setters found Alesi's time difficult to beat.
He should just nip over the line. No, he doesn't. Just second place. There again, Alesi's time was pretty good, wasn't it?
And Schumacher wasn't the only man struggling to match Alesi's pace.
Wait and see what happens for Häkkinen in fourth place. Well, he'll be shocked at that.
Finally, Schumacher broke the stranglehold.
Can he do it this time round? Let's have a look.
Yes, he can.
Yes,
He's done it. He's done
wow.
it. There is Mika Häkkinen pushing extremely hard, but he's not quick enough, I think, to improve.
Irvine goes second, Murray. Eddie Irvine making it an all-red front row. Coulthard comes over the line anytime soon. Can he nip past Alesi? That was Häkkinen. He remains in fifth place, so Mika Häkkinen still in fifth. Coulthard goes to provisional pole.
This is much closer in qualifying than I expected. I didn't expect to have a Ferrari in front, but the fact that we're having a little bit of difficulty getting the balance throughout the whole lap is probably why Ferrari are slightly closer to us. If you look, they tend to be a bit stronger in the midsection, which is more a sort of slow-speed mechanical section.
And Eddie Irvine could just pull something special out of the bag here and throw the gauntlet back down to his teammate and the two McLaren drivers. Watch him as he goes over the line.
Yes, yes, yes! Eddie Irvine takes provisional pole position.
And for once, it was a challenge Michael Schumacher was unable to meet.
Horrible understeer there from Schumacher's car. He really didn't get the nose into turn 3 at all. What's it done for his first section? He's a full 3/10 slower than Irvine's at best first section. Schumacher's car not working at all well there into 3.
We are 2/10 off the pace, but the point is we seem to be competitive, we seem to be close, and we hopefully can bring it over into the race.
Irvine looks secure unless Häkkinen could pull out something really special.
The best that Mika Häkkinen could do, I think, is to take third position. No, my goodness, he takes pole position. Incredible, a fantastic last sector. Mika Häkkinen has done it again.
I had a pressure on all the time. I was fifth or fourth that time, and it was very unpleasant situation. I knew I can go quicker, but that meant I need to have a clean lap, clean run, no mistakes, nothing like that.
You know, pole was in the car today, but you never, you know, if you do a perfect lap, then you get pole. I didn't do it, so I didn't get it, you know, but all in all, I can't complain.
So Mika Hakkinen records a 5th consecutive pole. Eddie Irvine alongside, equaling his best ever qualifying performance. David Coulthard's 3rd, sandwiched between the 2 Ferraris. Alesi ended up 5th, and another impressive run from Jacques Villeneuve in 6th. Barrichello's up there again. Frenson's Jordan on row 4-2. Trulli and Ralf Schumacher make up the top 10. Hill was hoping for better than 11th, and Johnny Herbert was disappointed with his performance too. He starts 14th. Zanardi and Wirtz on row 9, they both had problems, and not much joy for the local heroes. De La Rosa qualifies 19th, and Genese Minardi starts on the back row.
So here we are then, a quarter of the way through the season. Michael Schumacher, the only driver who's finished every race. 8 clear of teammate Eddie Irvine, from then world champion Hakkinen, and the rejuvenated Frenson. And Ferrari wins in Australia, San Marino and Monaco. Well, they're really charging clear in the Constructors' Championship. Hello there, welcome to ITV's trackside studio. Another very warm day indeed. It's 24 degrees. Track temperature though 36 degrees. Bit of breeze around that you always get that at this particular circuit. Delighted to say, joining myself and Tony Jardine this afternoon, motorcycling legend Barry Sheen. Hi Barry, welcome.
Thank you.
What are you doing with your life these days for a start?
Well, I live in Australia, I live on the Gold Coast, and I work for Channel 10 television. I do the touring car commentaries and the motorbike Grand Prix commentaries and that, and got a property company out there and just generally have a bit of fun, really.
Generally chill out, eh?
Yeah.
You keep an eye on this sport, don't you? I mean, the Ferrari resurgence this season, has that come as a surprise to you?
No, I don't think it's a surprise. You know, Jean Todt is fantastic, and actually it's great. You know, it's really badly needed, and with Ferrari could win the World Championship, I think. If you see the following, well, you go to all the races, the following that Ferrari has is quite amazing, and for Ferrari to win again this year would be, I think, very good for the sport.
Just to say, a lot of people say the drivers have it cushy these days. There's a guy who bust a few bones in the course of his sport in your career. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't think so. You know, it's all these armchair people that sit back and say the people that used to race, it wasn't like that in my day. I think it's all relative, you know. The Formula One drivers, I was good mates with James Hunt and, you know, everybody really, Alan Prost, and I think it's really relative. I don't think the Formula One drivers today are any better than the ones from 20 years ago, and they don't have it any easier today. And, you know, that's it. It's relative to the actual time you're racing.
Tony, just a quick word from you, what we can expect this afternoon?
Well, hopefully a great battle, but we have no idea what's going to go on with the strategy because the temperature's climbing all the time, and Barry and I were talking about who's on the soft tyres, who's on the hard tyres. It's anybody's guess, really, but its tactics are going to have to be called really carefully.
Absolutely, we'll have to wait and see. Let's just see, though, why Ferrari have really stolen a march on McLaren. Just check these first 4 results. First in Australia, 2nd and 5th in Brazil, 1st Schumacher at Imola, and 1st and 2nd, unprecedented that for Ferrari at Monaco. And now McLaren, blank one in the opener at Melbourne, Hakkinen the winner in Sao Paulo, Coulthard 2nd in San Marino, and Hakkinen then 3rd in Monte Carlo. So it's the McLarens who are having to play catch-up. James Allen has been investigating.
McLaren lead 5-0 in pole positions, but in race wins, Ferrari lead 3-1. Why is this, and where does the championship go from here? McLaren has built a more sophisticated, higher performance car, but it's more critical to set up and features some radical design ideas, which the team has yet to stabilise, like the steering links, which misbehaved on Hakkinen's car at Monaco. When something goes wrong on the McLaren, it has a major effect on competitiveness. The Ferrari is a more reliable car, and from July onwards a new lighter engine should see it give more of a chance in qualifying. The team has worked hard on solid reliability before the season started, and they pushed hard on the performance development with a lot of testing between Australia and Brazil. Until McLaren sort out the reliability, they can't look for more development.
No such thing as bad luck. You know, you make your luck. We made a very quick car and carried into the beginning of the season a degree of unreliability. It's the price we've paid, and hopefully won't pay any longer, for being quick.
You're definitely not as comfortable when you hit the track that you're going to have the sort of advantage we had last year. You know that you have to have the car working well and you have to drive well to be quicker. I think it will be close the whole year, but hopefully once we get on top of reliability, we'll be able to go full effort on developing the car, and then hopefully we can find some new things.
So far I've been qualifying pole position every race. Whatever the gap has been, we have been quickest, which is important. Everybody is still behind us, and that's the reality.
I feel for sure more confident compared to last year. I mean, last year, whatever we did, any circumstance we tried, we were far behind, and now we obviously a bit more close, and if we get it right and they make maybe a little mistake, we are there. So they better push.
But how much of Ferrari's success is down to McLaren's bad luck, and how much of it is just good teamwork? Ferrari have had the edge tactically and have made the most of the flexible strategies of Ross Brawn and some excellent driving by Michael Schumacher and Eddie Irvine. Indeed, Irvine is the revelation this year, whereas last season he was an average of 46 seconds behind Schumacher at the end of a race. So far this year, he's just 33 seconds behind.
Well, Eddie's very sharp. I mean, I think Michael's still driving as well as always, and I think Eddie's closed the gap. I mean, today he's in front of Michael, which is not what we expected, but great all nonetheless. And he's really starting to play a part in races now, which is what we need if we're going to win the championships.
There's a long way to go yet, but the picture is very different from this time last year.
I think we have a great chance to win the championship, but only if we do as good a job as we've done in these first 3 or 4 races. So nobody's relaxing, nobody's assuming that the job is done, but we're obviously in a much stronger position than we were last year. And last year we were able to take the championship down to the last race.
Master tactician and Manchester United fan as well, Ross Brawn. If Ferrari win here, what a slap that would be for the McLarens.
Especially as Michael Schumacher said, this is Ferrari's worst circuit of the year. So if Ferrari actually win here, McLaren are in deep trouble. Yes, that's a fact. But just a quick word on that. Ferrari have gone for evolution, not revolution. McLaren have gone for a revolutionary car. They've sacrificed reliability for speed. There's a big difference. And Ross Brawn, just such a great tactician.
You've had your ear to the ground up and down the old paddock and the pit lane, Barry. What about the tactics for this afternoon?
Well, it's quite surprising. You look at virtually the first 6 are on soft tyres. Now, that's all very... Irvine did about 47 laps on the same set of soft tyres, but he did go off 3 times, and he was going quite a lot slower after sort of 20 laps. Now, top 6 guys on soft tyres, with the temperature the way it's going, they could end up with a mammoth amount of egg on their face, or could end up in the dirt, really, because I know that both the Jordans are on hard tyres. So if Damon can get off the grid well and Heinz Harald, then it's going to make a massive amount of difference. If they can get off and get in front and sort of be as wide as possible, the most sporting-like fashion, of course, then, I'm biased, mind you, so...
You and Damon go back a long way, don't you?
Absolutely. I knew Damon when he was about 14, he rode trials bikes and that, and he was really good on motorbikes. That's what a lot of people don't know. He was brilliant on bikes, and really he didn't have any money. He was riding an old heap of rubbish and that, but he was exceptionally good on bikes. And people think that Damon just had it handed to him on a plate. He worked his backside off, sort of him and Georgie put all their money into it and all that kind of stuff, and they only remember him winning the world championship.
Has he still got the desire, the hunger?
There's no doubt whatsoever. I've been with him for the last 3 days, and the great thing about Damon, he's technically so good. Don't forget, a lot of people seem to forget that the Williams, when he was driving with Senna, the Williams wasn't a good car. Senna went off more times in testing than he had done his whole career. Damon set the thing up, got it right, made it into a winner. And a lot of people forget that.
Yeah, cheers,
my
Barry.
hero, by the way.
I thought he might.
Not that you'd notice.
I thought he might be. I thought he might be.
He's a very good driver as well.
That is a herogram. Now, listen, as you would know, Barry, they probably prefer the bikes to Formula One in this country, but we've got a larger crowd here than normal, probably due to the presence of a couple of Spanish drivers, Marc Genet and Pedro de la Rosa. He's in the Arrows, spearheading the Grand Prix revival in this country, and he's been showing us around Barcelona, his hometown.
Since I have memory, I only wanted to go racing. After 5-6 years of just pushing for the karting, I mean, my father bought my first kart, and it was a non-stop after that. Karting, circuits, and suddenly one day you make it, Formula One. Well, here's where I live with my parents, 6th floor of that building just behind me, and here, this is the park where I spent most of my childhood. I remember having a motorbike, an electric motorbike, just going through the park with my parents, and just from the very beginning, I liked the speed. I started racing in radio control cars when I was 9 years old, because I couldn't go karting, not because I liked it more than karting. But it was good, it was fun, and the cars were very complicated. You had to play a lot with setups, four-wheel drive cars, 3 differentials. So, and then I became Spanish champion, European champion, and second in the World Championship. This took me up until 15 years old, and then I said to my father, I was starting to get bored of radio control cars. This is my school. It's St. Peter's School. It's an English school. I studied in this school since I was 3 up until 18. In this playground, probably I spent more times playing football than in a cockpit of a racing car. I used to wake up 1 hour earlier than everyone just so that I could play around from 8 to 9 o'clock. I have very good memories of 15 years of my life, very important years also. My first category in circuit was Formula Fiat, which is the first step in Spanish motor racing, which I won. That opened the doors to competing abroad, which is what every Spanish driver wants. I drove in England, I did some Formula Ford races, then I did the British Formula Renault Championship, which I won, and then I did 2 years of Formula 3. It was a good season anyway, because I managed to go quite quick, and at the end of the season we put back a Mugen engine, and I was on pole on the last race of the season. So that managed my career, the momentum to keep going, and I managed to get a good offer from the Toyota team Toms in Japan, and then I changed from England to Japan. Very, very interesting country, and there I went. Spent 3 years. I raced in Formula 3, in Formula 3000 and GP. I won the 3 categories, and that was the key success to returning to Formula, well, being able to get to Formula 1. I felt many times like a boxer when you're nearly going to go to the floor, but suddenly they ring the bell, and that saves you. In a way, my career has been like that, because until probably 1 week before the beginning of every championship, I never had anything. I just thought, this is the last year of my career because I don't have any sponsors. But always at the very last moment, I don't know how, I managed to keep going and keep winning, which was the key of getting some attention in Spain.
Pedro de la Rosa, he's going to have to show all his fighting instincts this afternoon, starting back in 19th place in the Arrows. Well, Barry Sheen has left us. He's probably gone to wish his pal Damon the best of luck in the Spanish Grand Prix that'll be underway in just under half an hour now. Martin Brundle, by the way, he's been driving King Juan Carlos around the Catalunya circuit in that 2-seater McLaren. A lot of pressure on our Martin, by the way, but he got him round in one piece, I'm delighted to say. And here's Martin now talking you round Mika Häkkinen's pole lap from last year.
A long, long pit straight ahead of you, some gently rolling hills as you build up to 195 miles an hour, heading down slightly into turn 1. You brake impossibly late. I don't know why, there's massive grip here, and take the curb on the inside. Turn 1, keep it left, turn 2. Now let the car run out to the right, prepare for 3. 110 miles an hour on the way in, 4th, balance the throttle. Now there's enough track left, yes, go for it. 170 on the exit, brake very hard into 4, it's bumpy here. Apex early, turn in early. Now let the car start to run wide, it's bumpy again here. A strange ripple effect as you brake downhill into 5. Now bring it inside and be patient. Wait, now squeeze the throttle gently, and you're heading towards turns 6 and 7. Brake very late into the hill, bring the car in early, let the car ride the curbs on the right-hander. You're up towards Campsa. Total commitment, barely lift the throttle, 125 miles an hour through the apex. Now bring the car over to the right, ready for La Caxa hairpin. Brake very, very late, and again bring the car in early. There's the grip. Now it's a never-ending left-hander, taking you up to Sabadell. Again, turn in early, that's where the grip is. Listen to Häkkinen playing with the throttle. You think you're ready to go, but you just can't. You have to wait. Now there's 2 cracking right-handers. This one falling away from you slightly. And finally, the last turn. Total commitment. Is there enough curb on the exit? Yes, there is. You're into the pit straight. Check your pit board. You're on your way.
Thank you very much indeed, Martin. Mika Häkkinen, winner here last year and quickest in warm-up this morning. David Coulthard, second fastest. Michael Schumacher, third fastest. Well, this race always attracts quite a few German and British fans. There's quite a few sponsors around as well. Very popular for the sponsors and the other big hitters. A big battle going on behind the scenes there in those hospitality areas where Barcelona have upped the ante. Louise Goodman reporting.
Formula One is a competitive business. Down in the paddock, the rivalry centres around who's got the best motorhome, and this year Benetton are on pole. This $1 million paddock palace was designed by Benetton's operations director, Joanne Wilder-Pratt. It was instantly dubbed the bouncy castle, but it's not all fun going on inside. David Warren is head of marketing here at Benetton. David, this all looks very flash, but there's a serious side to the facility too, isn't there?
Yes, indeed there is. In the course of an average weekend, if there is such a thing in Formula One, we entertain over 150 of our key sponsors in an environment which we hope is both elegant and luxurious. Rather than me explaining, I think the best thing is if I may show you around.
Please do.
Right. Well, Louise, in here is where all the hard work's done over the weekend. We have our press, PR and hospitality people whose job it is to make sure the press releases are written, the hospitality tickets are delivered and the hotel rooms booked. Moving through here, we're in the offices of Japanese Tobacco. As you can see, they're updating their website, which they do after every qualifying session, every practice session, and even after the race itself. And then finally, over here, we have the office for our sponsors where they come to relax and enjoy a glass of wine after a hard day at the races.
Something cool in here.
As well as looking after our sponsors and the team, we also provide a sanctuary for our drivers, and this is where Giancarlo comes to prepare for the race. He can get changed, have a massage, and generally get away from the attentions of the press. This is the mission control. This is where we bring the sponsors, entertain them, to persuade them to part with their money. In short, this is where we do the deals that make this whole show happen.
And this is the boss, Rocco Benetton's office. It takes his special pass to open the door, and he's out. So that's where they earn the money, and this is what they spend it on. These two state-of-the-art transporters cost BAR over £1 million and took a year to build.
Whether you've got the best cars or the best trucks or the best equipment or whatever it is, it all has a value and matters in Formula One. So it's just part of the whole image for BAR. What we have here is our engineering office, where the drivers and the engineers will sit and brief and debrief before and after a test session or practice. The area here is our communication centre. It controls not only the radios between the pits and the cars. We operate from here all of the telemetry systems, so all the data that comes back from the car while it's going round comes to the office here and then gets sent directly back to Brackley.
The transporters also carry 3 race cars and all the spares. That's a £5 million cargo on board, so every door has a coded magnetic lock. And just in case you were thinking of driving off with it...
Help! British American Racing under attack. Please, call the police.
No point attacking that particular lorry. Obviously, let me tell you how warm it is now. Since you've joined us, the temperature has gone up. It's 26 degrees and 36 degrees on the track. Well, now our Murray meets feature, Murray Walker trawling the paddock in search of Formula One characters. We've already heard from Pedro de la Rosa. He's got his eyes on some more local talent.
Whoever you are in Formula One, you're under pressure. But how's this for pressure? You're a Spaniard, you're about to drive in your first Spanish Grand Prix in a country which up to now hasn't been all that much interested in Grand Prix racing. Well, here's the man who can give us the answer, Marc Genet. Marc, what pressure have you got here?
Well, I'm trying to take it all out because obviously there is pressure from the fans, because Spanish fans are very demanding. They are used to winning in rallying, they are used to winning in bikes, and they want us to win in Formula One, and obviously that cannot be this year.
How did you start, Marc? I know it's in the blood because your brother Jordi was no mean racer.
Yeah, he was very good. I think he really deserved to be in Formula One because he was racing with the likes of Coulthard and Barrichello, and he was same level. I started like everybody in karting, then I went to England.
Did you do well in karts?
Yeah, I was 3 or 4 times Spanish champion.
Yeah.
So I did quite well. I finished second in the European Championships. If I wanted to continue, I had to go to England, and my brother was opening a little bit, or was showing the way to go, so I followed his steps.
Why do you say you had to go to England?
I think still now, and even more before, England is, in Spain we say La Meca. That means it's the pinnacle of motorsport, and that's where all the champions of different countries meet, and then the best show off.
You got your degree, and incidentally, you met Margaret Thatcher, didn't you? Which is more than I've ever done. What happened? Well, how did you do that?
Yeah, actually, I can tell you I'm very proud. I graduated in economics in the University of Buckingham, and that's where I had the best time of my life, and I very much doubt I ever enjoyed myself so much. And I have a picture with Margaret Thatcher because she was then the Dean of the University of Buckingham.
Oh, right.
And to me, this picture will be more important because I believe I'm going to get a picture soon, in a couple of years, in a podium of Formula One. But still, the picture with Margaret Thatcher is more important to me than the podium I'll get in Formula One. It's I really respect Margaret Thatcher.
Right. Now, you, like everybody else in Formula One, want to be world champion and believe you can be world champion. You're starting with Minardi, and I'm not being unkind to Minardi if I say that you're not going to be winning any races with them this year. So how do you see your career path going in future?
In 3 or 4 years' time, I have to be in a position to be challenging, at least to be consistently in the point and to win races. I hope it's going to be like that.
I do too. Well done, Mark.
Thank you very much.
Would you believe it? Margaret Thatcher fan, Mark Genet. Well, as we've been saying, the temperature is going to have quite a bearing on this afternoon's race. On the track at the moment, it's 36 degrees and rising. In qualifying yesterday, it reached the high 40s. More on race strategy now from James.
Well, the high track temperatures have a much more damaging effect on the soft tyres of the Ferrari than the hard tyres of the McLaren, so we can expect to see a real mixture of 2- and 3-stop strategies this afternoon. Now, last year, McLaren started the race with 80 kilos of fuel on a 2-stop plan, and if they repeat that here this afternoon, that'll bring them in for their first stop around about lap 27. Now, we can expect to see Ferrari start with about 65 kilos of fuel and a very flexible 2- or 3-stop plan, depending on what McLaren are doing. Every car will be using about 170 kilos of fuel today and keeping a very close eye on the rear tyres. Total lost time here around about 22 seconds for a pit stop, stationary for 6 or 8 seconds depending on your strategy. It's going to be very busy down here this afternoon.
It'll be very busy and very hot there. Give us a wave, Martin. Well, perhaps he gave them a wave when he went round with the King, Martin Brundle. Loads of British fans here, and the Spanish Grand Prix over the years has seen plenty of British success. 10 wins from the likes of Mike Hawthorne, Graham Hill and Jackie Stewart through to Hunt, Mansell and Damon Hill. More of the same today, we shall see. Back with us in the Spanish sunshine at the Catalunya circuit high above Barcelona. The Spanish Grand Prix will be starting in around about a quarter of an hour's time. This morning our man Martin Brundle drove King Juan Carlos around in that 2-seater McLaren. Royal chauffeur then, Martin, and back to the day job now, pal.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been quite so nervous in a Formula One car, actually. Welcome to the grid, everybody. Sorry if you were watching at Monaco and we lost the microphone just at the end. Gerhard Berger was playing games and finally, I think, succeeded. But we say at F1 ITV, don't get angry, get even. And we'll wait and see how confident he is next year when his BMW engine is on this very grid. So, few surprise performances here during qualifying, one of whom is Jean Alesi. We don't often get a chance to talk to him, and he's in the middle of talking to French TV right now. I might just sidle in there and see if I can wiggle in and get an interview with him. But apparently he's reasonably under control, but Jean can be quite hot-headed, but he has won a Grand Prix before. He knows what it's all about here in Barcelona, a lot of Grand Prix experience. I think he's only 3 or 4 away from doing more Grand Prix even than I did. But Jean Alesi, Jean, how are you doing?
Very well.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be in this position, obviously.
So it's your best performance on the grid for a while. Why is that? Why is it going so much better?
It's the best performance of the season because last year we were in the first row in Austria, but obviously we work very well all together, and the car here is very easy to make a mistake or to make a good direction is what we did, I think.
What's your race strategy? What are you going to do? How many times are you going to stop?
The stop, I don't want to say, but the fight, I hope to be able to fight as long as possible.
Okay, well, we wish you good luck and have a great afternoon. Thanks, John. Another guy I want to talk to is Eddie Irvine. I saw him wander off the grid a little while ago. Let's see if we can find him now. And here's Michael Schumacher too. I don't know if I'm allowed to butt into this conversation. I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready to have a chat. Michael's talking to Charlie Whiting here, who's the race director and the man who sets the random amount of time on the start line for the green light or the red lights go out. Michael! Okay, BSF have beat me to it. Okay, no, they haven't. I think we've just pulled a bit of a fast one here. Michael Schumacher, fourth on the grid, not where you wanted to be, but can you do anything about it?
We'll see. I think if we can pull out a star like Monaco, why not? But it is difficult because the first corner is a long way down the straight and a lot of things can happen until then.
Your car looked a bit of a handful in qualifying. Were you on the soft tyres or the hard tyres? Everybody's can't make this out, can't work this out.
Black and round.
The black and round ones. Okay, well, that's a good answer. But race strategy, similar to before, or are you going to try one of your Banzai specials today?
Yeah, Ross obviously is the master on that, and he will for sure have something in the pocket if necessary. So we will see. We've just found another good setup, so we feel reasonably confident. We will see what we can do with that.
Well, we all know you're fit enough and strong enough. Have a great race, and thanks for talking to us, Michael. Well, that was nice of him, wasn't it? Here's Irvine. Quick, let's have a quick chat with Swerving. Swerve, you got 20 seconds. What's, front row grid position, nobody to watch, hurtle into the first corner. What's your ideas?
Well, I said to Mika, if I'm going to take him off, we'll make sure he's off on the inside so that he's got an easier walk back to the pits.
Yeah, that's true. You need to get him before that, I guess, if you're going to do that. But, seriously, though, do you think you've got a chance to lead this race and win it from the front?
Well, a chance of leading it. Obviously, if Michael's in the race, we've got to play so that he can try and win the race. That's what it's all about, It's not ideal for me, but that's the story.
OK, your car seems to me to be working better than Michael's. Are you on the same tyres?
Yeah.
Absolutely same tyres, so you got a good chance. We've got to go back to the studio. Good luck, Eddie. Thanks a lot. Back to the studio.
Moving well down there. Martin nipping in front of the German host broadcasters, DSF. Not the first time they've been outmanoeuvred in Barcelona this week. Let's have a word with David Coulthard, shall we? High hopes for David today. He's with Louise.
Yeah, David's qualified third. That puts him on the outside of the track. David, how much is there a clean and a dirty side to this grid?
Well, every circuit, it's a small disadvantage to be on the inside because, of course, it's more dusty and there isn't as much rubber down. Sometimes you can still make good starts from there, but in many ways, this is the better side to be on, but ideally, of course, pole.
Temperature's been rising all day. Track temperature is up quite high now. How much is that going to play into the hands of the people who've chosen to go on the hard tyres?
Well, in theory, it should help a great deal. Because naturally, temperature of the tyre, the soft tyre, will put more heat into the carcass. So we're hoping we're on the right tyre.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Tony Jardine, quick up sum from you.
Well, it's a bit of a lottery in terms of strategy today, and that is because of the wind here that swirls around on the straight and the back straights, and because of the temperatures which are going to affect the tyres. I think Ferrari have got the reliability. They haven't perhaps just got quite the outright speed of the McLaren, but we're in for a great battle, and it's anybody's race.
Thank you, Tony. King Juan Carlos recovered from his spin with Martin. All credit to him, by the way, for going around in that two-seater McLaren. And, will these Reds do it again in Barcelona? Round 5 of the Formula One World Championship is just minutes away then. Stand by for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix.